is the Grove Podcast.
Hello, my name is Tabs and welcome to episode 182 of the Grove Podcast. Now, thank you for listening and I hope you're all having a good week. And I was going to say having a nice few days, a few Arsenal free days, but really, you know, when are you not thinking about Arsenal? When is there an Arsenal free day? We're either thinking about the last match, thinking about what our rivals are up to, thinking about the matches coming up, or just blocking every frigging idiot who doesn't know what a foul on a goalkeeper is and wants to change everything about football just because they didn't like the fact that Arsenal had a correct decision called for them, which may help us win the league. So, I wonder why the haters are hating on Arsenal. Let's see. But I must admit, after the weekend, I was actually thinking about rebranding the pod to the After Review podcast. But I think as much as we enjoyed that moment, it won't mean anything if we don't go on and win the league. And talking of winning the league, we are now 180 minutes, plus added time, of course, from potentially being Premier League champions. 3 hours, 10,800 seconds. But we could actually be champions by this time next week. So let's see. Fingers crossed. And I know I'm going to be talking to a gentleman who does actually think that will be the case. Anyway, in today's pod, we will be reminiscing a little bit about West Ham, talking through some of the Arsenal-related news this week, and then looking ahead to the Burnley game taking place on Monday. And as I said, our guest today is Academy Award nominee for Best Actor in a Football Stadium, Ian, aka Ask Cannon Picks. How are you? And have you calmed down from Sunday's incursion into West Ham enemy territory? And how are you feeling?
I'm good. I still feel a bit dirty for what I did, but we'll get into that in more detail. But no, I'm good. I just had a nice game of paddle. I genuinely booked that game of paddle because I had so much pent up energy in me, and I needed to do something with it. So I just ran around like an idiot for the last hour and a half, and looking forward to this pod and telling the story of the weekend.
well, look, if you listen to our last pod or follow us or Ian, aka Ask Cannon Picks on the socials, you'll know that Ian, or should I say Ian Cognito, and I went undercover at the London Stadium, like many other Arsenal fans did, and endured that game amongst the West Ham faithful, getting out in one piece. Some didn't, but that was only half the story of Sunday. So look, Ian, I'll leave it to you. Everyone's heard enough of me, and I regaled some of the story on when we did the post West Ham pod with Kaziva. So would you like to let the listeners know what we got up to last Sunday, and not one but two undercover operations?
Yeah, to tell this story, we have to go back a little bit and give it some context. So, towards the end of last year, I was looking at the fixtures and saw that we were playing Palace away, and I thought maybe I should buy a Palace membership. And like an idiot, I procrastinated and waited, but I eventually did it in February this year. I signed up to become a gold member of Crystal Palace Football Club. Fast forward to the Carabao Cup final. Tabs and I are in the Box Park up from Wembley, and I just opened up my phone, went into my wallet and turned my phone to Tabs, and I said, look at this. He saw my Crystal Palace membership. Looks exactly like the Arsenal one, but obviously in Crystal Palace colours. Tabs is showing off the little, what would you call it, the little set you get, South London and Proud. So when we were sitting in the Box Park, Tabs went on to the Crystal Palace website as well, and put a gold membership in his basket. I was going to say trolley for some reason. in his basket. It wasn't that big, but didn't buy it. And the Carabao Cup final happened, and the vibe wasn't great, so he didn't buy it that day. But then fast forward a good few months, and he finally made the purchase. He got FOMO, potential FOMO, and so we were at the Atletico Madrid home game one Tuesday evening, not too long ago, and the two of us with a few beers in us in the 12 pins in the beer garden. looked at each other and said, do you know what would really help our plight to get to this last game of the season is if we bought an actual ticket to a Crystal Palace game that wasn't the Arsenal game. It would make us look like actual Crystal Palace fans. So, like idiots, two of us standing in the beer garden outside the 12 pins. We booked 2 tickets to Crystal Palace via Everton. And just picked the first 2 tickets we came across. And that's the premise of the start of this story. And I'll let you tell the next bit about how we came across the West Ham tickets.
Well, yes. So the idea being was that I was going to go to Crystal Palace, go in on my membership, come out, go in on Ian's membership, and would have a history of going to a game, and then I'd get out of there as quickly as possible, get home to watch the West Ham game, and then lo and behold, I get a phone call on Friday. Tabs, I've got an opportunity to get a ticket for the West Ham game. Are you up for it? And I was a bit, a bit uncertain and all that. I said, well, actually, if you come over, we can go to the Crystal Palace game, get out after about 20 minutes, drive round to the London Stadium, go to the West Ham game, and then go home. And me go home, and say, so we hatched the plan for Project Trophy Lift, which involved basically. So we basically went, let's do it, and in a heady state, let's do it, like not really thinking about it. We said in for a penny, in for a pound. All life's about experiences, and therefore it was done. And then the next thing I know is right, I'm coming into Heathrow. I'll be there for 10 o'clock, and and then let's go. So I pick him up Sunday, pick him up from Heathrow, drive around to South London. Then this is the best part. Just to add sauce to this, we went to the club shop and got photographs of us in Palace kit. We had photographs with the Eagle mascots. We went to the fan zone. Yeah,
because we had heard stories. The reason why we went to this detail was because we had heard stories that West Ham United wanted evidence, because West Ham knew, and rightly so, that there'd be a lot of Arsenal fans trying to get into the home end. So there was rumours that they were going to ask for photos of people making sure they were in their West Ham gear, that they'd want proof that they'd gone to other West Ham games and so on. So as Tab's saying, when we got to Crystal Palace, we did all that. The pictures exist. I'm not proud of this, but pictures exist of us donning some Crystal Palace clobber to make it look a bit more realistic.
And then when we get into the ground, we were actually in the right stand, because we're in the stand where the Arsenal fans would be, and so we reckoned, what's the best row, what's the best seat? I mean, we did all of that, and then we watched half an hour of football, and it was fine. It was quite entertaining. It was like watching through a letterbox, but that's another story.
The worst view I've ever seen at a football stadium.
But and then Palace fans, that I'm a member at Brentford as well. I go to those games to meet mates and stuff like that. So it was very, very unoffensive, shall we say? But we knew we had to then sort of make our excuses, get out of there, and so we drove from West London to South London, and then we hot stepped it to the London Stadium. And then we went through that whole experience of seeing the Arsenal game undercover, and that story, I'll come back to you, Ian, on some of your thoughts on the game and how you felt about being in the away end. But we did all of that, and from East London, then all the way through Central London, bit of a sightseeing tour for Ian, back to Heathrow for 10 o'clock, and away he went home. And so that was a bit of a crazy 12 hours. And so I thought, great, we sorted. Right, so when are they going to release the Arsenal tickets? When are Crystal Palace going to let us know? And then 48 hours later, we get the news that Crystal Palace have decided, quite wisely, may I say, and they were knowing, they would have seen the West Ham game, and they would have seen all the stuff about the Arsenal fans, and basically you needed to have a membership from the 1st of December in order to be able to buy a ticket. So our plan was foiled. But it wasn't meant to be. And even though I did try and go and buy a ticket, and I got one in the basket, and my heart raced, and then it said, no, you're not allowed to have a ticket because your membership's too new. And it's like, damn. But
that's why I was so annoyed with myself, because I genuinely had the idea to get the membership at Palace, like probably in, I'd say, October, November, and I just procrastinated. I said, I'll do it. And had I done it then, I would have been eligible for a ticket to the last game in the home end. I'm absolutely fuming with myself.
There we go. And look, it wasn't meant to be. Maybe that's the right thing. Who knows? But what we were talking about before, and we had. If we go on to win the league, that day will go down in the Grove podcast history. We had a great day. We had a fun day, out, and it was, Arsenal got the win and all the rest of it. So, yeah, it was good fun, and it was very bizarre when we were sending photos to our friends that I'd not told that what we were doing, and sending them a picture from Selhurst Park at like 2:00, and then a picture for the London Stadium at 4:30. And go, what on earth what are you doing, you idiot? And so, but there we go. It was a lot of fun. We got to see a couple of grounds, and we got to see an Arsenal win. So look but unfortunately, not going to be there. We're not going to pay through the nose to do that. But anyway, so look, what were your memories from and your experience of being undercover at the West Ham game, and just how the game panned out, and how you responded to being a West Ham fan?
Well, it's a kind of 3-4 hour stretch that I'll never ever forget, because you and I were speaking about how we were going to act when we got there, and the agreement was that we had a backstory. The agreement was that I was just over from Ireland. You were my brother-in-law, and you were married to my sister, and you were just bringing me to a game. I don't really support anyone, so that would explain why I'm not really reacting too much. And we'd just play it cool. We'd sit in our hands, and it wouldn't be a big huge deal. At one stage we were hoping that maybe we'd sit beside some girls or something, that they won't be as aggressive if we get found out, but then
you've never been to the East End of London, have you?
No. It was very naive of me. But then what set the cat in amongst the pigeons for me was, we foolishly, this was at Selhurst Park, I showed you a post on X of somebody saying that they did exactly what we just described, as in, like, say nothing, stay quiet throughout the whole game at the London Stadium, at a West Ham game. As an Arsenal fan, this was like a couple of seasons ago. But despite them doing that, they got found out, because obviously if you stay quiet, and like West Ham, if there's a foul that goes against West Ham, the natural thing is for people to start giving out to the ref. So they said that things got very cagey for them that day. They got called out, and there was no real aggro, but he was very worried. So when I read that, I was like, oh no, our plan's just not going to work. So like, we'll tell stories of inside the stadium, but it even started outside when we were queuing up to get into the stadium. There was because we were told that they would be checking for jerseys and all that. Now Tabs and I had no colours on at all, but I had a mini panic standing in the queue, because I put my hand in my jeans pockets, and my car keys were in them. We were that far back, we didn't know how much they were going to be looking. Were they going to be asking you to empty your pockets? And I was trying to remember, did I have an Arsenal key ring on my car? And I was like,
I've just remembered my car keys have got a Canada on them.
Like, so we're standing in the queue for ages, going like, at what level are they going to here? Because we were told that they'd be lifting up tops and making sure there's no hidden jerseys. So I'm in a blind panic trying to feel along my car keys to see if any of them are an Arsenal one. I looked after the game, and shame on me, I actually don't have any Arsenal things on my key ring and my car keys. But out of nowhere, what happens? We just see these two people being carted out, like right past us, two Arsenal fans, a guy and a girl, and the guy's holding his Arsenal jersey. He obviously had it down his trousers or something, like an idiot, so that just made our temperatures rise even more. We're like, oh my god, we're like, somehow we're going to get. But myself and Tabs are looking at the two guys going, fucking idiots, like gooners, like
wankers, fuck off.
yeah, you got caught. And then we get through that check, and then we're standing outside the turnstiles, and we just hear this commotion behind us, and just two West Ham fans came barreling over to a steward right beside me, go, there's two fucking gooners there, get them the fuck out of here, go get them. And myself and Tabs are shaking our head going, fucking gooners, you can't trust them, and I'm starting to shake at this stage. And but we get into the stadium, there's no issues, and like, even I'm worried whether the tickets will work, because they were paper tickets. But yeah, I'll let you take over and talk a little bit about when we got into the stadium at first.
I'm sorry, I'm still having palpitations now. Retrospective palpitations. The fact that I've got an Arsenal
key ring,
on my car keys that we used that day,
and just to say,
because we'd even like gone to the thing of changing our iPhone screens to not
West
pop
Ham
up.
crests.
Oh my god!
No, and just to complete that part of the story, when we got to the top of the queue, the guy basically just paddled us down, the same as they do at the Emirates, and off you went. Like you could have had anything on you Arsenal related, and they wouldn't have known. Like, so thankfully there wasn't any. You didn't get your car keys taken off you.
No, God, but no. Look, inside the say, I said we were very lucky to be back row. So basically, no eyes on you. You're at the back, and actually the row was a bit empty as well. So all the rest of it. So we were fine in the corner. And I'm a quiet watcher of a game anyway. I just sit there, hands in pocket. It was freezing, so I had my hands in my pockets. It was freezing, so I was the quiet one. Kicking the chair in front of me, banging my head on the metal behind me. In frustration. It just happened to be the frustrations coincided with West Ham did well, so, and stuff. So I was a bit more low key, whereas Ian De Niro here in front of me. Fuck's sake, Rev, that was Odegaard, you wanker, Saka, what you doing? And was playing the as if he was a character from EastEnders.
I didn't put the London accent on.
No. And I think, as I said, they say thou dost protest too much. He did actually get a few looks, as in, is he actually over-egging this a bit? And that was what I was worried. And I was like, oh God, Ian, what are you doing? I think there was this one guy next to us I think he was completely suspicious, but you just towed the line enough. And as I said the other day on the post West Ham pod, is like, both sets of fans were miserable, so we could both be unhappy together. And when West Ham almost scored, that 1-on-1, we put our head in our hands because, oh my God, we almost letting it go, and we're going, oh my God, they're going, oh my God, we almost scored. What happened? It was but the hardest part was that, well, look, I was very good at taking the emotion out. So when we scored, did not flinch. Ian was a bit more, oh, fuck's sake, yes, fuck's sake, oh my, that's brilliant, fucking hell, I can't believe we let it go.
When we scored, I just, my whole body just naturally wanted to go absolutely ballistic. But of course, I'm remembering where I am, and you probably have all seen the video of the guys getting thrown down the stairs. So that's what happened to the two guys who did celebrate the Arsenal goal. So my whole body's tingling. I'm going crazy. So the only way I could let that out was by standing up and berating our defence, the West Ham defence. I was like, what the fuck are you all playing at? We're fucking about to get relegated here. Will you come on? You absolute idiots. And I was overdoing it. And I just felt Tabs' hand on the back of my belt at the back of my jeans and just pulling me down as if to say, okay, now you're overdoing it. And I was like, okay. And I just sat down and pretended to be absolutely fuming. But it was absolutely, that was crazy. And then, of course, the VAR decision. I put my hands out. I don't know if you remember that, Tabs. I put my hands out in front of you and they were just shaking. But of course, that could have been a West Ham fan as well, because there's relegation in their future. Hopefully not. It was the craziest 10 minutes of football, or 15 minutes, that I've ever been involved in.
It was nuts. And I've just before the pod, I watched the last 15-20 minutes again, and I watched that 1-on-1. It's still think he's going to score. He's going to score. I still think he's going to score. And then I watched our goal 100 times, watching each individual player celebration. I love that. And then the Wilson goal, I think, oh God, it's 1-1. Okay, and you're watching it, forgetting that we've won the game. It's really stressful watching it.
It's crazy. What saved me in stadium was when they scored. I turned to you straight away when the referee pointed. Well, maybe not straight away, but within 60 seconds of the referee pointing, I turned to you and I said, "Come on, let's get out of here," because I'm not. I was thinking I'm not going to be able to hold my emotions in, and we're going to get killed. And then you took your phone out of your pocket and you went onto the Grove WhatsApp group. And it was like, I've never seen anything. It was like teletext. It was like all the results coming through all at once. And every message was like, that's a foul. That's a definite foul. That's like 1,000,000% a foul. And I was like, oh, so you're telling me there's a chance, but still didn't trust. I did not trust that VAR, even if it was a foul, would be brave enough to disallow it. Now, at this point, we didn't know how much of a foul it was. We hadn't seen it. And it just would have been an absolute travesty had he bottled it. And and I was recording, so I have about a 1 minute clip on my phone of the what's the referee's name? I should know this man's name because
Chris Kavanagh.
Chris Kavanagh, because he's the new love of my life. So he's standing at the screen, and I'm recording, and he comes out and he says the sexiest words I've ever heard a man say after review. The West Ham number 19 commits a foul on the goalkeeper. And it's an indirect or direct free kick or whatever it was, and I just panned my camera like I'm in a Hollywood movie. I turned my phone to face the Arsenal fans going absolutely ballistic, and it's hilarious because you can just hear me and you in the background, just behind the phone, going boo, 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 but looking at each other going, oh my god, we wanted to just hug each other and but we couldn't. We just had to pretend still that we were devastated about this review. But I would have probably walked down the stairs only for I saw all those messages on the Grove WhatsApp group. But they were literally flying in. It was so funny. But yeah, it was just an insane experience. It really was a really insane experience.
And then we didn't actually react until we. Until we got well away from the stadium. We're getting a couple of burgers, and then we had a big hug and jumped around. And go, yeah!
But before that, there was a little bit of aggro. Do you remember?
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. We got him on camera when we were doing our post instant reaction.
So West Ham was kind of like, when you leave West Ham, it's almost like when you leave Wembley, so you're Wembley Way, you walk out and they do this stop go system, so they send loads of people to each section, and they literally have lollipop people there with stop and go signs, and so there's just I'd say, what would you say, around us 500, 600, 700, 800 West Ham fans.
Yeah.
And this guy just walks down in the middle of them all and starts singing an Arsenal song, and we just turned around in absolute disbelief going, oh my god. And somebody just a couple of people behind us started shouting at him saying, leave it out, mate, Jesus Christ. And he, now to be fair to him, he was like, guys, I'm really sorry. He said, it's just business. He said, it's just business at the end of the day. He said, I really want you to stay up, because obviously everybody wants Spurs to get relegated. But he was just like, it's just business. But one guy in particular wasn't having any of that, and he actually ran for this guy, and there was this horrible moment because the West Ham fans was as he was going at the Arsenal guy, his son was there, and his son was probably only 10, 12, something like that.
Yeah.
And he was just grabbing his dad. It was real sad, grabbing his dad, oh no, come on, no dad, please don't. And now thankfully nothing crazy happened. I think a guy got a pint thrown over him. But then that's when we got further away, and we just we hugged it out.
Would you do it again?
Yes, but could you make it a 4-0 win instead? I will never forget that VAR review as long as I live. I honestly thought my heart was going to explode, and not being able to react to that, because you see the reaction of people all over, people, they record themselves nowadays, and they just had that emotion explosion, but we couldn't do that. We just had to hold it in. But I wouldn't change a thing.
It was just a shrug, wasn't it? It was like, oh.
Yeah.
Inside you go.
And with the moment West Ham scored, because we were down that end, and you could see clearly that the ball went over the line, and that moment having to stand up and kind of applaud and go, yes, that killed me. That absolutely killed me. But anyway, absolutely crazy experience. I loved it.
And what have you made? I said, look, that's our experience, and I said, if we go on to win the league, it's going to go down as a great day, very memorable day. But it's sort of back to the football of it all, and so what have you made of the? Oh, excuse me. overreaction to the correct VAR decision since
I know.
Sunday. All of the bollocks, really.
Yeah, look, it is a load of bollocks, but it's not unsurprising. It's the way of the football fan, and the way the online football fan is. There's nobody wants to give anybody any credit. Like, so the amount of discourse I've seen about Arsenal now, literally because of that one decision, that we are undeserving winners, even though it's the correct decision. All the videos that were popping up about our corners saying, look at all these fouls, and not one of them is a foul. But all the discourse, all of a sudden, like we don't deserve. Now, I don't care about any of this. I actually think it's hilarious, and the more annoyed people are, like the opposition fans are, the happier I am. The more. Like, you can see people actually getting really angry online, and that makes my heart glow when I see it. So it doesn't get to me at all, but it's outrageous, like the discourse around it, because as you said, it was the most blatant foul. And had we seen that somehow, if they had shown a replay in the stadium, I know they don't do that, you and I would have been able to relax straight away. But yeah, fuck them is what I say.
and look, it does feel like it's just laying to Arsenal time at the moment. And it's all seems to be designed and targeted to destabilize either the fan base or the players in the club, and I say targeted is at a specific moment in time. We had the article by the Daily Hail, Hail or whatever, that stupid rag, we had the Leo article, and that was old news, but it came out Sunday on the morning of the game, but that I think that had been old news, but they waited until then to do it. Then there was the news this week about Arsenal staff getting ticks for the Champions League final but having to pay for the travel. Which isn't a great look, admittedly, but I'm sure there's more nuance to what the headline suggests. But no one's going to read the detail. TLDR, as they say, is they're just going to see that and then they say, "Hey, look, state-owned PSG have paid for everyone in Paris to go," sort of thing. And say, well, okay, but again, and then there was the stuff today around the Arsenal Vision podcast. Now, look, we don't know the truth of the matter, but I trust the AV team more than the Telegraph reporters, and it's just the timing of it. It's just the pile on the VAR nonsense, the Arsenal cheating nonsense. It's all bad faith, disingenuous arguments from so-called industry professionals in the media. And the goalkeepers union all of a sudden, going, oh no, we're fine. We don't need protecting. We don't, if they can touch us, whatever they want, it's not a foul. And they say, look, we're paranoid or sensitive, but you can understand why. And look, Arsenal sells, and the more negative it is, the more it sells. And as much as you try not to engage, it can get to you. And you wonder, we do become a bit defensive, and it's weird because everyone is either, on the opposite side, everyone either ignores or fawns over an actual team that has done industrial scale cheating and manipulation as Man City. But hey, it's just as much as they say fuck them and let them,
it is annoying.
It's a very disrespectful. It does get a bit frustrating.
And it's so true that somehow in a world where, Man City have, sports washed, there's the alleged corruption, the 115 charges, just changing the landscape of English football in the same way that Chelsea did. Somehow Arsenal are the bad guys. It's complete jealousy. The fact that you can have a properly run club, self-financed. Look, I know we have our own very wealthy owners, but there's just no comparison with how funds have been put into the club, the two different clubs. And it's disappointing. It's very disappointing there's a lot of high profile journalists who have gone that road as well. And it's just disappointing to see. I get the fandom because, like, when Liverpool last season, I was saying, I'd never go too far with it, but I would just give out, say they're not that great, and blah blah blah. Somehow try and make it out that they don't deserve it. The same for Man City over the years. So you get that side of it, but
that's fans. That's
just fandom, yeah. But for all those things that happen, like you and I, we stopped off at a garage on the way to Selhurst Park, and as I walked in, I just saw that paper, and I just saw Leo Trossard's face on the front of the paper. I was like, oh, that's not good. And I showed it to you on the way out, and it's like, what are you guys up to? Like, do you hate us that bad that you're doing all this? But look, all told, it's a good thing. It's a good sign, because if we were finishing 8th and 5th like we were, none of this would be brought up. And
No one would care.
when, touching wood, when we go on and win the big ones, like, I am going to stick it back down their throats. Like, you have no idea the receipts I have, and I'm going to enjoy every last minute.
It's going to be very sweet. It's going to be very sweet. What wasn't sweet this week was, unfortunately, the bad news that we had about Ben White, who is now out for the rest of the season after the injury picked up against West Ham. That includes the Champions League final. He's also unavailable for selection for the World Cup, this year. Whether he was going to go or not, who knows? He was in the last 2 squads. We'll see. But, and look, that's really, unfortunate news for him, for the club. And you got to feel for him. Feel really sorry. He was coming into form. He's put his body through the ringer for this club, and at such a critical juncture in the season and potentially the summer for him. He does his MCL. Now, look, surgery isn't required from what we understand, but still out for a couple of months. And they say he should be back for pre-season. So, like, I don't know how. You have to feel for him. And also, is that potentially the last time we might see him in an Arsenal shirt?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, we've done it before with players who have been injured kind of late on in seasons, and we've kept them. But I'm absolutely gutted for him, because he's gone through so much, like all the media stuff surrounding England, when, like, it wasn't, the people don't know the full story behind all that. He loves his country, very proud to represent his country. As you say, started to hit form at a time where we needed him, because Jurriën Timber has been out injured for a while, and like the stuff that he's done for us, playing away at Newcastle a couple of seasons ago with a grade 2 tear in his hamstring, I think, was it?
Yeah.
And for this to happen to him, literally the 3 weeks of a season where we could be crowned Premier League champions, missing a Champions League final, which is arguably outside a World Cup final. It's the pinnacle of
it's the biggest game in club football, and
we all use we all use the Champions League final as the postmark for, like, picking your best team. Say, like, it's Champions League final. What's Arsenal's best team? So that's the game everybody wants to play in. He's gonna lose that. He's more than likely not going to be in the. Well, he won't be. Like, he won't be fit for the World Cup. So, like, it's just awful timing from him. And he doesn't deserve it. He just doesn't.
No, and it does mean we're a bit light at right back. Timber still out, and he's been out since the back end of March. And that's sort of nuts. It's just so sneakily, just sort of seemed to be fine. Okay, not in the Carabao Cup team. That news just came out that day, and then since then, not been seen since. Now he's graduated from civvies to tracksuits, so that's progress. But Arteta was saying that, again, as I said, he's making progress. Unsure whether they're gonna try and get him back for the final. He said there's a chance, but they don't know how big that chance is. So we're now left with Mosquera, who's been a brilliant signing. It has been amazing for 13 million. He's come in, he's played centre back, he's played right back, but he's still quite inexperienced, still a bit vulnerable. I even saw, like, in the rewatch just now, was like, Somerville took him. So, so if you see him up against the PSG rapid and skillful wingers, it's not ideal. But then then what do we do? Do we put Rice there? Then you lose him in midfield. Calafiori at right back. Can he do that? Mm-hmm. And then you've even got Salmon, who's a 16-year-old kid. So we seem to be in a bit of a bind, and we've got to wrap him up in cotton wool. And the other thing about Timber is, what's his mindset going to be? Because he's got the World Cup to think about. So does he put that at risk, at jeopardy for the Champions League final? Now you wouldn't put it. You wouldn't, how should we say, forgive him. You would forgive him for thinking, well, I've got a World Cup to play. I think he missed the last big championship because of his ACL. So if he maybe puts country before club, it might be just that fine margin. Say, look, if I get myself just about fit for this one game, I'll be able to play this one game. But what's the knock-on effect? So, and I think our club are very careful and good at that sort of thing, and I don't think we'll put him in a position as well that potentially threatens him to that. But I don't know how you feeling about now our right back options, because we saw, on at the weekend, funnily enough, that we saw Declan Rice, man in a match against Brighton when he played right back. He played right back against West Ham, and it just did not work. So what are you thinking in that area?
Yeah, I think
blind panic.
Whatever we do, we must not put Declan Rice at right back in the biggest game in the club's history, arguably the biggest game in the club's history. He has to play in midfield in his normal position and try dominate the game as he normally does. I don't think, like, the unfortunate thing is, as you said, you about the PSG wingers. Like, unfortunately, PSG probably have the best left winger in the world in Kvaratskhelia, and like Mosquera, in my mind, again, as you said, it's such a great sign, and he's done a brilliant job for us. But I just don't fancy him for 90 minutes against Kvaratskhelia. My gut feeling is, which is what I thought was going to happen on Sunday against West Ham, was that either put on, in that instance it was put on Mosquera, but I initially said to you when it was clear that Ben White was going off, that I said, when we saw Zubamendi, this is when I said this, we saw Zubamendi was coming on, so I just thought naturally, right, he's going to put Calafiori to right back, MLS to left back, and put Zubi in the middle, where MLS was playing, and so that's even that's not ideal, but that's what I would do. I would put, like, if Timber's not fit for the Champions League final, I just think you put on your senior players. I know Calafiori obviously is an incredibly talented left back, but I would rather have him there at right back and have maybe Hincapié as left back, and have kind of keep that bit of stability there. Some people may argue with that, and I get it, because Calafiori's incredibly effective as a left back, as I was just saying. So, but it's just really hard. I don't think, even if Timber does play, like, if he doesn't play any more league games, but he's somehow fit, you're only going to get 20 minutes out of him. So he's not going to start unless, there's some kind of miracle. But that's what I would do. If there's no Timber, I would go Calafiori right back and Hincapié left back.
Yeah, it's a toughie, but we've got games before them, and we'll get to them.
Yeah.
We're talking about Champions League. Go on.
Yeah. So I was going to say, for Burnley, I think I'd be happy enough with Mosquera playing right back, and just make it one swap, a simple swap, and maybe even Palace away, maybe. But I just think and I know, of course, I've jumped ahead to the Champions League final like that, but that's where my mind went when Ben White went off injured. You can manage against some of the Premier League teams, but when you're playing against PSG, arguably the best team in the world right now, with the best wingers in the world, that's just where my brain went. But hopefully there's some kind of miracle with Timber, and he's able to get some minutes before then.
It's a miracle. Well, he's a believer, so let's see. Come on then.
Yeah, we need those Bible verse drops.
Let's get his Lord and Savior doing some miracles. All right. Yeah. So, sorry, no disrespect. But talking of Champions League, you had some eventually good news this week. So we'll be in Budapest together but in the home end this time.
I'm not going into the PSG Ultras to watch Arsenal against PSG in the Champions League final. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. Like, I applied for, I have 3 season tickets. I applied for the 3 of them, and I was sitting exactly where I am right now in my living room, and I just saw it, actually, because on my watch it just popped up an email, and I just saw it was from Arsenal, and the heading was Champions League, but I didn't know, I couldn't read the body of the email, so I just grabbed my phone, and the first word I read was congratulations, and I was like, no way! And I literally...
weren't the first 2 words after review?
I said that online. I said, if Arsenal don't send out... This was before they sent the emails out. I said, if Arsenal don't send out the email saying, we received your application, and after review, you were successful in the ballot. But I literally jumped up, grabbed my laptop, and start looking at flights. It was it was a special moment. Now I'm going halfway around the world and back to get there, but yeah, we'll be in Budapest together. I'm so excited about it.
Even though the way the FIFA UEFA app was playing that day was a bit, it was touch and go for a while. There was a whole group chat between me, you, and Mitch going on, and everyone's going, "Oh my god!" The site was down, codes weren't working. It was all a bit panicky, but we got there, and sort of Mitch did ask a question and said, "Oh, can you raise this on the pod?" Apparently, the Arsenal's new kit comes out tomorrow, so I guess they'll be playing in that against Burnley. And there was rumours that we might play in it for the Champions League. I mean, that doesn't sit right with me.
No, I read somewhere that now I don't know how true it is. I saw online that Arsenal are not going to do that this year. They're going to go against tradition and not wear the jersey at all this season and just bring it in next season. Now, I can't remember what account posted it because some of them are very reliable and knowledgeable. Some of them are just piss artists, but that's what I read. I don't know if it's true, but yeah, I'm with you, and I'm with Mitch as well. He was asking the question in a way that says, like, surely we shouldn't do that, you know?
No, exactly, and actually, I don't like us playing in it in the last game of the season. It's just, like, we've got this season's kit, and that's our kit, and so on, and it'll be the last time we wear it because I think against Palace we'll be wearing white. So yeah, no, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't like to do it. It's I don't know. There's an aesthetic to it. It's this season. Even should it happen, should we win, and you're watching it all played back, it just doesn't look right. And it even suggests even for the players that maybe they don't think about it too much, but it says no. The kit we wear is the one we got here, sort of in. But anyway, it's the marketing men that make these decisions, and the like of Adidas and Nike and whoever. I think there was even rumor that PSG were going to have a new kit, and it had a very red middle, which means then we couldn't wear red and stuff like that. But no, hopefully not. But anyway.
Who's officially the home team in the Champions League
PSG,
final?
just because it was to do with the side of the draw. So they're officially the home. They're officially the home team. So not the team with the best record and all the rest of it. It's them just because of the side of the draw. So
right. That's fair enough.
It is what it is. Anyway, before we get to the Champions League final, and you know what I do love actually about the Champions League final is that what happens on the day will take care of itself. Is that thing that since the semi-finals, we can actually just sort of say, hey, we're in the Champions League final, and we can talk about the Champions League final, and we can say when we're in the Champions League. And the result is irrelevant at this stage because you can just enjoy this moment in time. Now, it's all good. If it all goes to shit, then we forget about that. But at least these 2-3 weeks in between, you're just like, oh, Champions League final. I love just thinking about it because you hear about, when other teams get there and say, oh, when PSG play in the Champions League final, oh, when it, it's like, oh, no, that's us. We're the team that's there.
And for so many years, it's felt so far away, hasn't it? Like, well, not last season, but like for like there was years where we weren't in it, and yeah, you're right to be able to just sit down and just say, oh yeah, Champions League finals coming up,
and we'll be there.
We will be there.
But before that, we've got the business of the Premier League to win. 2 games, as I said, from glory, and we played Burnley on Monday night, unfortunately, which caused you a bit of a pain, and it's caused a lot of fans a bit of a pain. But our paymasters have dictated, and it is what it is. So it's unfortunate, but Monday night under the lights, so that a bit of atmosphere. And look, unfortunately, given City beating Palace 3-0 last night, which was actually that stat. I think I read out a stat last time that there's the two top score lines from this season have been Arsenal 1-0 7 times and Manchester City 3-0, and that was the 9th time they won by 3-0 in this season, and they're still second. Anyway, due to that, and it doesn't matter how they could win 100-0 in the next 2 games. If we win our 2 games, then it doesn't matter. But
it won't make a difference.
Unfortunately, we cannot win the league on Monday, but we can put ourselves in a position that means City must not lose to Bournemouth to take it through to the last game of the season. So a win or a draw takes it through to the last game. But if we win and they lose, then we've won the league. Now, that's something you think will happen. Now, before I get to why, I think I'd take it. I know that says, but it would feel a little bit under. And I know I'm getting my head of myself a bit here because we've got to beat Burnley, and we'll get to that. But it would feel a little bit underwhelming if that did happen. It doesn't fill me with as much joy as being able to experience it amongst Arsenal fans. But you're quietly confident that we're winning it Tuesday night.
Yeah, but first, before I get on to that, I fully agree. Like, we have been looking at that Burnley game for so long, and thinking, Jesus, if a few results go our way that night, we're celebrating winning the league, and it would be amazing. And yeah, maybe you could call it a little bit underwhelming, but to me, I couldn't care less. I said when we were going back to, like, there was 5 games left each when after City beat us. Everybody was saying it, including me, that the 3 games where City could lose points was Everton away, Brentford at home, but not so much because obviously the home advantage, but the Bournemouth away one, and mainly because Bournemouth have a chance, literally, because Liverpool play. This is when you get into all the permutations. Liverpool play Villa on Friday night. If Liverpool beat Villa, Bournemouth have the chance to go within 1 point if they beat City, behind Villa, and then be 1 game away from automatically qualifying. Never mind finishing 6th and Villa winning the Europa League and so on. Bournemouth can actually finish 5th, and I just think
because also Villa play City on the last game of the season,
and Villa play City in the last game,
and Emery's bending over for that game.
Oh,
so.
yes, yeah. Like, anybody who has their hopes on Villa, forget about it, because, like, yeah, that's going to be like a 4-5-6-0 job. And I have had the feeling for a good while, because Bournemouth, I think, maybe other than Man United, since the start of this year,
they're the form team.
They're the form team. Now, look, City could go out and slap them 3-0, and that wouldn't surprise me either. But I just have a feeling that Bournemouth are really going to, because they have such an incentive to go and beat City. And I'm not saying they'll beat them, it might be a draw. So I have a feeling, I have a strong feeling that if we do the business on Monday night, that Tuesday night, it won't be Jamie Vardy's having a party, it'll be Art Cannon Picks is having a party on Tuesday night. And you are all welcome. Get yourself to Dublin.
Get yourself to Dublin. But they have to lose. I think a draw takes it to the last game of the season, because there's still potential.
No,
because okay, so where we're at, so Arsenal on 79 points,
yeah,
and City on 77.
Yeah, if we win our game, we go to 82,
and if they draw that, oh shit, yes, they have to win. Oh God,
yeah.
My maths is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh wow.
City have to win.
A draw. City have to win. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Okay. And did you see the empty head last night?
Yeah. I mean,
I know Arteta didn't, but
he didn't, but he did. He was definitely watching that. He was definitely watching that.
But given they're fighting for a title, and the fans seem half-assed about it, it's just it's nuts. It was half empty, and you could buy tens of seats together so easily. It's like,
I know, like it just sums up the club. And look, I know there are some genuine old school Man City fans out there, but it's just, yeah, I mean, they're up there with Chelsea for me in terms of just nobody giving 2 shits about them. And to see the club, fighting for the title on a midweek game, the game in hand that they've been banging on about for like months, and they can't even sell it out. Like, I mean, if that was the Emirates, like, you could have sold it out twice over, like. And Pep Guardiola, I cannot wait till that man is gone from the Premier League. The way he was going on about the come on you irons, and like offering the Burnley players Rolex watches if they beat Arsenal.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes,
wow.
Yeah. Did you not hear that? No. I just saw it online. I didn't see him say the word, so I can't say for sure that he actually said it.
But it doesn't matter. It's true. It's 100% true.
Yeah, if it's online, it's true. It might have been like an off the cuff like joke, but he said that he'd give the Burnley players, and he'd buy them personally. And then him going onto the pitch and talking to all the Crystal Palace players after their game last night, because we're playing them on the last game of the season. Like, the guy, I think he's unhinged. Like, there's something up with him. And I cannot wait till he's gone. So I just pray that we do the business on Monday, and that Bournemouth do us favour, because genuinely, like, I think we'll beat Palace on the last day of the season. But picture the scene, right? we beat Burnley and they beat Bournemouth, and it's the last game of the season next Sunday, and it's 0-0 at Palace. City have gone 1-0 up, 2-0 up against Villa. At that moment in time, they're probably top of the league on goal difference. News filters in, the Arsenal fans get edgy, the Arsenal players get edgy, and it's like, oh my God, please, please, please. And you can just, it would build and it would build. Now, I think we would still beat Palace ultimately, but I just don't want that. This is why you're calling it underwhelming if we won it because City didn't beat Bournemouth. Absolutely no way. You give that to me, please, so I don't have to go through that on next Sunday. Because I've already nearly had a heart attack this month, and I don't really want to have another one.
No, okay, I hear you. Don't worry, I hear you. But look, here is hoping Palace put in a similar lackluster performance against us as they did last night. And look, our board members are quite friendly with each other, and apparently there's a 10 million Eze bonus clause if we win the league. So I'm sure Glasner's leaving, so he don't give two shits. But I'm sure they'll have a word and say, look, try, but not that hard. But I did. Is what is interesting is the we're meant to be talking about Burnley, but just this final point in the Palace is that if they've already admitted they're going to be focusing on their European Cup game. So actually, you'd rather actually have the players who are going to be playing that Cup game because they won't do anything, than a whole bunch of people trying to get into the bloody squad who will try hard. So whereas last night they had a lot of the team players that would play. Okay, the Saar wasn't there, I think, and Wharton wasn't there, but. So it's a bit of an odd one, but let's hope that it's a disjointed, crappy cup team and we batter them. But anyway, we'll get to Palace next week, and so onto Burnley as we're talking about, and before the game, Red Atchen are planning another meet and greet with the coaches from around 5:40 p.m. At the roundabout outside the Emirates at the Armory. So if you're planning and going to the game, get up there early, give the players a cheer. I was there last time for the Atletico Madrid one, and it was good. It was good fun. It was entertaining and got everyone in the mood. And Arteta said in the press conference today, he said, "I loved it." He said, "I think all the players have loved it. I think it builds an energy connection with them that we haven't experienced before." So I think, and apparently it made a difference, and they were talking about it. So I think, let's go for it. It's a bit of an odd one. We're doing this for Burnley at home, but hey, so what? The stakes are high. So with regards to that game, what are you looking forward to and not looking forward to as far as Burnley at home on Monday evening is concerned?
I'm looking forward to being there, because just so many people have reached out to me for tickets, and it's
surely you're not travelling over to Dublin from Dublin on Monday, are you? Hell yes.
I'm just really looking forward to the atmosphere. Look, anything can happen in a football game, but I'm fully and wholly convinced that we'll do the job on Monday night, and I'm just looking forward to that atmosphere, scoring a few goals. Hopefully, I would love us to score. I take a 1-0 win, don't get me wrong, but I would love us to go 5 or 6-0, and just saw off the goal difference that City are starting to build, because I think they'll batter Villa.
It's +1 at the moment.
Yeah, I think they'll beat Villa 4-0, 5-0. So if we're able to get 5 or 6 on Monday night, again, I'm not getting ahead of myself, because Burnley can play with freedom, and it's not going to be an easy game, but if we score a couple early goals, we could go to town on them. So I'm looking forward to something like that happening potentially. Not looking forward to, it's hard to, I don't even want to go there, but just as I just said, the stakes are so high. I'm not looking forward to any just potential stupidity like a red card in the first 10 minutes, just us taking our eye off the ball, or I don't even want to go down that road. But I'm gonna say there's nothing that I'm not looking forward to after I say all that.
No, that's fine. I'll start with my not looking forward to. Like they said, Wolves at home would be easy, and we scraped through on 2 own goals, one of them being in the added time. I'd take the 3 points, just not like that. And I've been referencing City versus QPR. Last game of the season, the Aguero moment, City were losing, I think 2-1 to QPR. QPR had Joey Barton playing for them. I think they might have been down to 10 men, and it needed an Aguero goal in added time to win that game. So and QPR were relegated at the time.
Yeah.
So stupid stuff
Stupid things
happens.
can happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want a tense evening. You know, where we come up against an obstinate team, we just can't score. So that I'm not looking forward to that, and then how the crowd are reacting to that, and so on, just like that whole thing. So, but look, what I'm looking forward to, great atmosphere. Hopefully, get to see you before the game, come down, and if you're getting in early enough to come and see the coaches and have a couple of beers and whatnot, and winning and being one game from ultimate glory. And so it doesn't sound like you're nervous.
Oh, I am.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So are you, sorry, let me rephrase that. Are you nervous?
Oh, I am. Like, every waking moment is me thinking of these last few games and what could go wrong. And, you know, you're just trying to picture the glory moments, but then your brain goes, no, hold on a minute. Fucking anything can happen. So I am nervous, but I try and overtake that by just having trust in, like, we're a much better side than Burnley. Like, we just are. They're relegated. You just have to do it. You have to take care of business. But I am nervous.
Yeah,
I am.
It depends what sort of Burnley we face. You know, there's one that already know their fate. There's nothing to play for, and they could be a bit flat. You know, or they could all have great professional pride and want to disrupt our season and say, what the heck, let's go for it. So, but maybe they won't have that extra 1% that can make the difference, but still shit happens. So you're right. But then also, depending how they play, it could suit us. If they say, oh, fuck it, let's go for it, then there's open space, there's chances to punish them. So, and let's hope they just don't low block kryptonite us and frustrate the hell out of us, and get ahead of steam. And it's honest, it's celebrating every last challenge, every last ditch, this, that, and the other. But I mean, for us, we need to just be professional, not expect anything. I think we have to really not expect any favors, and expect Burnley to be prime whatever prime Juventus or Inter Milan or something from Italy in the 80s and stuff, that thou shalt not pass type stuff. And we just got to do our jobs, as simple as that. It's at home against a relegated team. We have to win it. There's nothing there to, so we have to just be really professional about it and really serious about it, not take anything granted. And look, Burnley's last 2 away games, was it Leeds away, where by all accounts they got battered and defended poorly, so same again please. And even then after that they had a 2-2 draw at home to Villa, but that's pure Emery. That is the reason by that. So in terms of how we line up for this, what are you thinking? Is it same again? Do we freshen things up? What are you thinking in terms of the lineup?
Yeah, obviously we're going to have to replace Ben White. I think Mosquera will. I was about to say do what Martin Keown there does and call him Mosquera. So it's going to be Raya in goal, Mosquera. It's going to be Saliba and Gabriel. I don't know obviously how Calafiori is. Maybe don't risk him. Start with Hincapié. I'm intrigued with the whole MLS thing. It's when he was announcing, or just before we announced the Atletico Madrid lineup, I thought there wasn't a hope that he was going to play MLS. I thought he had rested Zubamendi. And I was really shocked that he was brave enough to play him again in such a big game, and I like it. And he did the same again away at West Ham, which is arguably the toughest game we had left in the Premier League. So I wouldn't be against him doing that again. I'm intrigued by that. It'll be Rice in the middle. I wouldn't be surprised if he started Odegaard. And brought Eze on later on. And then you're looking at, you have to play Saka. Although Saka wasn't great against West Ham, but I think he'll play Saka, just play him into form. Would it be De Gioc or would it be Havertz? I'm going to say Havertz. I think he might start Havertz. And then Leo on the left.
Yeah, because they're not going to come out and attack. So they're going to try and Well, who knows? They've got nothing to lose. Even their manager was saying today, they've got nothing to lose. It's an odd one. The back, Mosquera, Saliba, Big G, and Hincapie, I think that's where it is. If there is an issue with Calafiori, there's debate whether Arteta was saving face by saying Calafiori is injured or he's genuine. Okay, sorry, just a bit of a technical hitch there, but I'll try and edit it out. So I was in terms of the lineup, I was thinking, Mosquera, Saliba, Big G, I think Hincapie. As I said, we're not too sure whether it was a smokescreen saving face of Calafiori injury or if he was after the substitutions against West Ham. MLS and Rice definitely. I have a feeling for Odegaard this game. He needs longer minutes in the legs. I think thinking about PSG. And stuff like that, and we keep Eze on the bench, and that's fine. Saka, Gyökeres or Havertz, maybe Havertz because of the type of game it might be. I don't know how expansive Burnley will be, whether it's going to be a small space game type stuff. So I don't know, and then Trossard is. But again, predicting Arsenal's lineup this season has been nine impossible with injuries and what we're going to do, which is great given the squad we had. And so look, our recent run has actually been, since losing to City, 1-4, drawn 1, and that's like Newcastle at home, Atleti away, Fulham at home, Atleti at home, and then West Ham away. And we've only let in 1 goal in those, was it 5 games? And that was a dodgy UEFA handball, and we've scored 7. So it may not be the most exhilarating, but I think that's pretty good going given where we were, the state of the squad, the mentality of the squad, and just look, we had a championship to win, and I think it's in line with that. Would we take 5 1-0s to the end of the season? It seems like that's what Arsenal have signed up for. But and look, with only relegated Burnley at home and Palace with their minds elsewhere, and hopefully playing a weakened team, this is an opportunity that very, very rarely comes up, and then we really need to seize it. And I think the players think that. In terms of Burnley themselves under the new manager Michael Jackson, indeed, very good. You've thrown me off now. They are in 19th. So they're already relegated. They only won 4 games all season. They drew 9, lost 23. They've got a minus 36 goal difference, 21 points. They last won a game on February 11th. Since then, they've played 10, lost 7, drawn 2, 4-9 against 20. They did only lose 1-0 to City, but they were actually battered. They average 1 goal per game, but they concede 2 goals per game, and their away form is like 1-2, drawn 3, lost 13. Goals for 20, goals against 45. So they've lost away to Leeds 3-1. They lost away to Nottingham Forest 4-1. They lost away to Fulham 3-1. They lost away to Everton 2-0. They drew at home to Chelsea, but Chelsea are pants. So they tend to get the odd goal in a 5-goal game. So so they are there for the taking. And look, here's some stats for you that should give you some hope. Not that we need hope against Burnley. Come on, let's get a grip of ourselves. They failed to keep a clean sheet in their last 28 Premier League away matches this season, and have shipped more goals on the road than any other team in the division. That's 45. But as I said, they've scored in 17 of their last 20 Premier League away matches. So whatever our prediction is going to end with a 1. And only Wolves with 5 have picked up fewer points than Burnley, 9 away from home in the Premier League this season. So we don't have the cleanest record against Burnley at the Emirates, but we are going for a title. This team is relegated. They are no good. Stupid stuff happens, but we've just got to be serious and do the job. So what's your prediction for the game?
My prediction is that we're just simply going to put on our big boy pants and, take care of business. I may regret saying this, but I have to believe we're going to do them and do them well. I'm going to go 4-0.
4-0, okay. Well, I'll go 4-1, just because they seem to score the 1 goal. 3-1, 4-1, something like that. But let's hope we don't. I'm trying to. I was just had a quick thought. Would you rather go 1-0 down or have them equalise to go 1-1? I don't. For some reason, it felt worse the equaliser than going 1-0 down.
No, you
But,
want to go 4-0 up and then like concede a goal right at the end. You don't want any equalisers or them going out. Tabs, like defibrillators aren't easily found, you know.
Yeah, there aren't enough to go around the Emirates. I think I'm going delirious. I think the nerves are setting in, and it's only Thursday evening. We're recording this Thursday evening. We've still got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and all day Monday to get through. We've got to do it. We got to do it. No excuses. We have to do this. So there we go. So look, thank you, Ian, for joining me today and regaling of our heroics on Sunday. Unfortunately, we failed at the last hurdle in terms of Project Trophy Lift at the Palace, and hopefully that failure is us being there as opposed to the trophy lift. And look, let's hope we set that up for those that are fortunate enough to go there with a victory against Burnley. Where can people find you on the socials? What do you get up to?
You will find me at Ars Cannon Pics on all the socials, where you can send me a picture of your cannon wherever you find it, whether you're on holidays. And I was looking today, I am 13 days away from posting a cannon every day for a whole year. And which is kind of cool. And we're heading towards 900 cannons all told. So that's where you'll find me, all the usual social media outlets.
Very good, very good. And look, you can find us at The Grove AFC on Threads, Blue Sky, X, Insta, TikTok, YouTube channel, and as well as, we have a Spotify and app and all the podcast apps. That's where you'll find us. But if you're listening, you know that already. And look, if you enjoy what you hear, even if you don't, you can lie. Give us a nice little rating, comment, review on the apps. Really appreciate it. Give us a follow. It helps with the algorithm. It's the way we spread the word. We do notice. We do look at that, and we do appreciate every new listener and every new subscriber that we have, and we are very, very, very grateful for it. And there we go. So if you can do that, much appreciated. So look, as we said, thank you for listening. We are almost there, but nothing has been won yet. We are not counting our chickens. Counting our Eagles, there was 2 of them posted on the socials today. We've got 2 games, 3 hours, 180 minutes, 10,800 seconds of the season to go. But for now, we just need to focus on the next game, the next 90. Win that, get some goals, and we'll take it from there. Simples, right? Right? Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. I really do. Come on, Bournemouth. And until the next time, come on, you Gunners.